being a creepy dude when people are on your show and need basically you to support them to be able to play on your show, and then using that as like a vessel to launch your like I'm gonna beat off to pictures of you before the show is just f***ed up. It's just f***ed up.
Doug Polk started the new year off with a bang win, reflecting on one of the biggest stories of 2024 involving recent past Hustler Casino Live co-owner Nick Vertucci. Turns out karma's a bitch and she came to collect.
So stupid.
As you may remember, the man who thought he was cancel-proof got his membership to the Never Cancel Club revoked when allegations of sexual harassment and inappropriate behavior towards women were brought to light. The controversy began when Julia McBride, a regular player on HCL, shared screenshots of text messages where Vertucci made unwelcome advances. The allegations included Vertucci showing explicit images, making lewd comments, and using his position to intimidate or retaliate. At the time, I did a video that goes further into detail, pointing out the low T levels and pencil dick revelations, so go down that rabbit hole if you'd like. Despite the serious nature, the story was also a real laugh in the poker world because of the aforementioned elements. This lodge regular Michael Cinnabon Eli even wore a Vertucci-inspired costume during a Halloween-themed lodge stream, imitating Vertucci's every move.
I watched every single podcast.
To prep, what's your commentary on the play at this lovely table?
Not enough women at this table. Can't be a manly man anymore with this society we live in. You can't even sexually harass women. You can't even sexually harass women anymore? Oh, come on.
What a shame, Vertucci. Guess you'll be out of a job.
I'm Vertucci today. My VPIP, if it ever gets above 15%, let me know. So I'll stop playing hands. Right now it's 0, so I'm perfect.
Just phenomenal.
Jump to present day roughly 3 months later, poker greats Doug Polk and Joey Ingram reunite in a live stream together to rank the biggest stories of poker in 2024. Of course, the Nick Vertucci shameful exit from HCL eventually gets brought up, and unexpectedly, Doug reveals a surprising reason why he especially was so satisfied to see him go.
Some of the things that Nick did, I mean, one of his last tweets before he had to delete everything, someone was like, yeah, like, you know, screw the lodge, like, you're way better, like, yeah, and he responded, like, thanks, like muscle emoji, like, yeah, like, you know, we're the, it's like, yeah. I mean, I don't understand. Like, why even make that comment? It's like totally unnecessary. It's
so
like,
what did he say? He made a muscle tweet? He made a muscle emoji?
Someone was like, yeah, like, you guys are good. Like, fuck the lodge. Like, you're kicking their ass. And he was like, yeah, we are. Yeah. It's like,
yeah.
Okay,
I mean, I don't know. The guy, he got a lot of confidence. You know, they got it. You need confidence. You got to have confidence. I see what you're saying. You don't like it when people are talking shit. You know, if anybody's putting down my show, I get you know, I might feel the same way. Understandable for you.
It's just unnecessary. We have employees, we have like other people in my business that see that kind of stuff, and it's like now I have to be like, oh, that like why is this person saying this about us when we're friends with him? Oh, he's just a fucking douchebag. I mean, that's why.
Not only did Vertucci make that silly comment on X, but Doug goes further into detail on his bumpy relationship with HCL as a whole.
You know, I've put a lot of effort into trying to have a good relationship between their show and mine, and I've gone through a bunch of fucking bullshit over on their show, 100%. And then to be that petty, where you're gonna we're killing those guys. Like, it's just sad, man. It's sad that you're gonna go to that level and engage in that kind of behavior over something so stupid and trivial. Why? Like, I have done a lot for your show. Like, I've done a lot. I've played some of your biggest games. I've helped promote you. I always have Feldman's back along the way. I've said nothing but nice things about your show.
This doesn't come off as a huge surprise, as at the end of May of 2024, Doug ended, quote, upset at the way he was treated when he went to play in the second annual HCL $1 Million game, largely due to the poor game he got stuck in and the fact that no pros were allowed, yet Tom Dwan was allowed to play.
I also just felt like really upset about the way that I was basically treated in this, where I know Feldman did his best. Feldman is a good dude. He runs a great show. But basically, you know, for all these months, I was like, yeah, I'll play whatever. This is your lineup. These are the people. And then it just gets different and worse and worse. And then I eventually show up, and it's like the game's on the ropes when I get there. And they have the game running next couple of days. And you're told no pros. Tom's playing. I don't know what happened there. I'm not in the inner workings of this shit, but it is what it is.
HCL owner Ryan Feldman later framed the issue as primarily a business decision.
It's not personal, Sonny. It's strictly business.
You can have like a disagreement on something or a conversation. That doesn't mean that you're like fighting or like you don't like each other or like nothing like that. Like, it's business. And like, if you can separate, you got to be able to separate business and friendship, you know?
When I asked Ryan about this directly, he mentioned that Doug's public opinion differed from his private stance, and he shared the following insight.
And then you had Doug Polk actually create a video, and at the end of the video basically say, he was, completely unhappy, not completely, but, unhappy with the way it panned out for him. He wished he was on a better day, that kind of thing. Is that tough to hear from such a big name like him and someone who, has their own stream? And like, how did you kind of respond to that? Like, how do you feel?
I would say it's kind of tough because for him to say that publicly, because like privately, it's not like our conversations are great. Like we're friends. Yeah. We talk all the time. Like me, Doug, Nick. Like we're good. There's no issue. Yeah. Me, Doug, Nick.
I am Nick Vertucci.
Oh, he's just a fucking douchebag. This guy owns half the company. He's talking shit on Twitter. It's like, what's wrong with this guy?
Well,
Ryan did later clarify and recognize the main point he was trying to get across, which relates to the politics of private games.
I understand what Doug's saying and why he's, maybe he still does end up coming into play sometime, but he's like turned off a bit and realizes like he doesn't need this, right? He's got good things going for him, just like any businessman, and he doesn't need poker. Like a guy that plays poker for a living and does nothing else is more likely to bow down to all of the circumstances that surround poker lineups, and they're just going to be like, listen, I'm available whenever, I'll play with whoever, just put me in, coach, right? But like Doug's at a point in his life where he doesn't have to do that.
Right.
The relationship status between two of poker's best stream owners comes off a bit blurry, but one thing that is clear is just how happy Doug is to see Vertucci gone.
And when I saw that tweet, I was like, man, you know what? Fuck this guy, but it's just not worth it. And then like the next day, this thing broke open, and I was like looking at it, and I was like, it's not often that karma hits this hard, this fast, but it was like really, really something to see that happen.
Although Doug takes somewhat of a harsh tone when referencing Vertucci, he and Joey do recognize what he contributed to help get HCL off the ground, basically saving the LA live stream market.
The guy, think about it. The guy basically helped to save Live at the Bike. He invested with Feldman. Without him, they couldn't have created Hustler Casino Live. They couldn't have made one of the biggest shows. And I feel like that show has really helped push the industry, and it's helped to create other shows. And now we got a whole other ecosystem of live streams and content and shows, and like the industry's really changed in terms of what those shows are like.
Absolutely was key for his involvement to put that show where it was, and that was Future Poker. No doubt about that.
While many may find it surprising, Doug admits that HCL is not a competitor. He contributes this to the quote rising tides effect. The better they do, the better the lodge does.
I actually don't even view HCL as a competitor. Like, in my opinion, if they do well, we're going to get more viewers. So it's kind of like rising tide situation.
The talk comes to an end when discussing whether or not Nick Vertucci will ever again return to poker in the public eye.
Anyway, it is a real loss for the beard massage community. I know that their highlights and revenues are going to be down tremendously. But
so wait, you think I don't think he's gone. I think that he's definitely coming back at some point in time. I think for this story, he doesn't, like, I don't know the full story. I would love to know his side of the story. I'd love to know more about what happened here and like why did he delete the accounts and like what's going on here. But I feel like we're going to see a resurgence from Nick Vertucci. I feel like the guy's definitely going to come back at some point in time. He'll come up with a podcast. He's probably going to, if whatever happened, he'll have an apology or something like that's going to happen. I don't know. It seems inevitable to me. You think this is the last we've seen of Nick Vertucci?
Doug makes some excellent points about this being such an open and shut case, as we never even saw Vertucci defend himself, but also, like Joey said, anything's possible. Put your comment below. Will Vertucci be back or not?
Ooh, I don't think so, man. Because think about it like this. Like, there are, as far as I understand, almost zero Nick Vertucci fans, right?
No, he's definitely got fans. Come on, he's got fans.
Dude, come on. Like, how many are we talking about here? Like, whatever. Let's say he's got 10, 5, 100. But the point is, like, the reason he was a part of this was because he owned half of like a really popular show.
I see.
So that was like, you were force-fed Nick Vertucci because he was the most common played player on that show, and he owned half the business. So now, what happens? Like, how is he going to get back in? It's not going to be a business venture, I don't imagine. He's going to start playing. They're not going to have him on that show again. Why would they do that? Why would anyone have him on a show? How does he end up in this world again is my question.
And then I know he may not be everyone's favorite, but Alex Duvall, like, honestly, I love how he gives us the grimy gossip. He like summarizes all the like he's a shit disturber, and then he'll like tweet at Garrett and get blocked, and like tweet at Phil Hellmuth, get blocked, and yeah, I like him. He's a little bit of a shit disturber.
Cool. Shit shoveler. All right. Shit shoveler.
Sorry, not sorry to keep shoveling your shit, Nick, but someone's got to do it.